Yeah, good evening, gentlemen and ladies. You are welcome to night class. Tonight, we'll continue from where we stopped on Saturday. We'll be talking about complex numbers. And if I'm not mistaken, we did addition of complex numbers, subtraction, and we're about to look at multiplication. Then I move further to consider powers of complex numbers. Two of us, yeah. So you are all welcome. So let me recap what we did on Saturday, then move straight to multiplication of complex numbers. Amen. Okay, yeah. We are looking at powers of complex numbers. Amen. Powers of I. That is what I mean. Powers of I. Powers of I. So you need to understand the meaning of powers of I, which I told you that I is equals to square root of minus 1. So if I is equals to square root of minus 1, what will happen to I square? It means I square, because by the time you take square root of both sides, it's going to be I square equals to minus 1. True of us. We did something like this. Then I also I asked us to evaluate or simplify I raised to power 4, which I told you that you apply indices so that it will be more easier. True of us, yeah. So I raised to power 4 is the same thing as I times I times I times I. True of us. Then which is the same thing as I raised to power 2 times I raised to power 2. Then we know that I raised to power 4 is equals to I raised to power 2 times I raised to power 2 will give us what? I squared is minus 1 times minus 1, which is equals to minus times minus plus 1 times 1, 1. So it means I raised to the powers of 4 is 1. True or false? Do you have any question? No question? I can continue, right? Yeah, so we did that. Then I also say evaluate something like this. I raised to power 11. Then, I raised to power 11 is the same thing as I times I times I times I times I times I. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times I times I times I times I. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. But to make it simpler, more easier, I said we can rewrite this I raised to power 11 is the same thing as I raised to power 2 times 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 I raised to power 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times I will give us I raised to power 11. True of us. Do you agree with me? Amen? Yeah. So if you agree with me, this implies that I square is minus 1 times 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 I. So you don't need a prophet to tell you. It means this will give us minus I, true of us. Minus times minus plus times minus minus times minus plus times minus minus 1 times I definitely to give us minus I. So I raised to power 11 is equals to minus I. So we did all of that, true of us. Yeah. So do you have any questions before we proceed? Please drop it in the comment section. Any question? No question. So we can proceed. I can see that the number of students are very low attending the class. So we can proceed, right? Please try and invite others to join the class. It's okay. So if you can see what I am saying, hope you are seeing the board. Okay, so let's move further to consider uh, multiplication of complex numbers. How we can multiply complex numbers. Okay, so let's proceed, right? Yeah. If example, if z1 is equals to, let's say, a plus ib, and z2 is equals to c plus id, and you are asked to find z1 times z2. It's simple as ABC. Is that clear? I'm going to break it down for you to understand. Yeah, so what you need to do, write solution z1 times z2 is equals to z1 is a plus ib, then put it inside the bracket, times z2 is c plus id. So I know very well that most of you don't know how to multiply two brackets, but I'm going to break it down for you to understand it better. Is that clear? So when you have two brackets like this, what you need to do, this is our real part, two of us. Use the real part to multiply real part of here and imaginary part of this bracket. Is that clear? Okay, so our z1 times z2 is equals to a times c. We are going to have AC, A times plus ID, we have AI, IAD, then we are done. Then use this imaginary part, which is IB, to multiply this bracket, C and ID. So IB times C, we are going to have IBC, right? Then I times I squared, two of us. So B times D, we are going to have I squared BD. Am I communicating? Please look at the board. Look at the board. Look at the board. Please try and wake others to be part of the class. Hope you are seeing the board clearly. Try and wake others to be part of the class. Oh, it's not clear. It's not too clear, but here is clear. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I think you should, but here is clear. I don't know. The writing is not clear. You are not seeing AC plus IAD plus IBC plus I squared BD. Is network, either the network you are using or it's clear now. Okay, thank you. Yeah, network. You know, the country we find ourselves, they don't want to make things good for each citizens to enjoy. It's okay. So let's proceed, right? We can proceed, right? Oh, start all over again. Okay. We are talking about multiplication, right? Is that clear? So if Z1 is equal to A plus IB, and Z2 is equal to C plus ID, they say find Z1 times Z2. So what you need to do is to use Z1 to multiply Z2. So you just put it inside the two complex numbers inside the bracket. Look at it. This is Z1, this is Z2. So what you need to do, use this to multiply all of these brackets. So A times C, we have AC, amen. Then A times ID, we have IAD. Then remember IB. Use this IB to multiply out this bracket. IB times C, we have IBC. Two of us. Then IB times ID. I times I is I squared. That is why you are saying I squared, right? Then B times D, BD. Do you understand? So at this point, we are going to collect right terms. But I want us to note that I square is equals to minus what? 1. True of us. True of us. Are you seeing? It's true, right? So our Z1, Z2 is equals to AC plus IAD plus IBC. So here will be what? Minus, because minus times plus. Minus BD. So you can now see that we have the real part and imaginary part. So we collect like terms. Is that clear? Hope you are following. So our Z1 times Z2 is equals to AC minus BD, then plus IAD plus IBC. Amen? Yeah. This is the answer. You can leave it like this, or this is the same thing as AC minus BD plus we factor I is common, we factor it out, I open bracket AD plus BC. True or false? Yeah. Are you saying? You are saying, right? Why is it not clear? I think the network from where you are here is clear. It's the network. So it's okay. So that is that. So let us consider one example. Let's consider one example. Let us consider an example here to multiply. Okay. So I can clean this, right? Yeah. I can clean this. Oh, sorry about it. Taking the lights. Taking the lights. Wow. Taking the lights.